We'll start lying on our backs today, and we want to be able to reach our yoga band from our back. So make sure you take your time, let all the movement out. Don't worry about how long it takes to stop fidgeting. And maybe because you didn't worry about how long it takes to find stillness, maybe you do start to feel some physical quiet. Letting your eyes close. Allowing yourself to observe the space around your body. So ambient sounds are neither good or bad. We can't change them. So it's okay that we notice that they exist. You might feel clothing against your skin. Maybe there's an air current. Maybe you become aware of the temperature. And start to notice where your body's touching ground. Whether you're here on your mat or you're out in the world off your mat, you can always come back to noticing ground to help you become more present. To help you return to your body. From these points of contact, let's begin the journey in. Are there any sensations in your body? How do you feel? Let's draw the awareness towards the breath. What are the qualities of your breath? Things like the speed, the depth of your breath, perhaps the temperature of the air as it enters and exits your nostrils. What's the texture of your breath? If you haven't already, begin to deepen it. So inhale so deeply, feel your rib cage expand. Exhale with control. And observe how the body is moving inward. Navel moves towards the spine. A long, slow inhale so that your rib cage expands. Maybe your belly lifts. Completely exhaling all the way to the bottom. Inhaling, rib cage expands, belly lifts, maybe your heart will rise. Exhaling slowly with control. Feeling the body move in, but maybe the mind also moves inward. Let's begin to bring some movement back to the body now. No wrong answers, we're reawakening. So whatever helps you to reawaken. Eventually we'll take a full body stretch. We'll point and flex the toes. We'll sweep the arms overhead. We'll get as long as we can. And then we'll release. Again, we'll take another full body stretch. Get as long as you can, fingers and toes spread, moving away from each other, and let go. We'll bring our knees in towards the chest for a little hug. We might even rock from side to side. And then we'll let our feet come down to the mat. They could be as wide as the mat, or they could be a little bit closer together. Take up as much space as you can with the arms. Spread them out wide, palms up, and then start to let the knees fall one way as your head turns the opposite. And then knees go the other way as your head turns again. And just move slow. You might move with your breath. Maybe it's a whole inhale one direction and the entire exhale over to the other side. We don't need to rush this. We're doing a few things here. We're lubricating the hip joints, but we're also getting the spine moving. Bit of a subtle twist here. And the next time your knees fall over to the right, we'll just leave them there for just a few cycles of breath. Let's come up through center, all the way to the other side. And we'll pause here. We'll come back to center. Once again, we'll bring our knees in. We'll take some hip circles. So it's your choice if the knees move together or if you'd like to move them separately. Could be like crazy 8 style or towards each other, away from each other, doesn't matter. We're just continuing on with moving the hip joints around. All right, back to center. Let's just let the left foot come down to the mat and we'll bring the right knee in towards chest or shoulder. And we'll start to roll the ankle around a few times here. Don't rush this. So oftentimes we just like flip the footrest around a few times, but go slow. Really notice what's happening in the ankle joint. Notice if there's anywhere here that feels, a little sticky or, I don't know, has some kind of sensation. And then start to circle the other direction as well. Let's bring our ankle to stillness. Keep your right knee in, press your low back into the mat. And now lift your left foot into the sky. We're pressing through the heel. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to lower your left leg down to the mat. Once the heel touches down, you can release any effort there. And just start to focus on bringing the right knee towards shoulder or chest. If your low back is lifted above the mat, start to press it down again. So we're just engaging the core a bit here. Activate the left leg. And then on an inhale, start to lift it back up. Bend your knee, the left knee, and then switch your hold. Let your right foot come down to the mat. And start to circle your left ankle. Well, now that we're doing the other side, see if you can be present enough to notice if this side has any difference in the way the right ankle felt. It's okay if you don't notice anything or if they're the same. Because we're circling the ankle, depending on where you're holding your leg too, you might even notice the muscles in the shin. So we're really moving we're getting into that whole bottom part of the leg. Circle the other direction now. Well, strengthening the muscles here in our lower leg, shin and calf, helps to strengthen our knee joints and our ankle joints. Okay, let's be still with the ankle. Press your low back down into the mat. And then press your right foot up into the sky. Pressing through your heel, take a deep inhale. And then exhale to slowly lower it down to the mat. Once it lands, you can release the effort and just focus on drawing your left knee in towards shoulder or chest. If the low back is now lifted above the mat, once again, start pressing it down. Activate your right leg. And then inhale, lift it back up. Bend your right knee, bringing it in towards the chest. And then release your left leg, maybe all the way down the mat. Here, we'll reach for our yoga band or our scarf or our belt, whatever we have, and we'll loop it around the bottom of our right foot, pressing our right foot up, using as much of the band as we can, or we need to, or whatever it is, so that our knee is as unbent as possible without like a white knuckle death grip on the yoga band. If it's possible to let the upper arms rest on the floor or the mat, then do that. So let's hold on to both ends of the band now with the left hand. Let your right arm open into a T shape. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, carry your leg across your body towards the left. Any amount. On an inhale, we'll lift back up. We're going to switch our hands. So right hand holds on to both ends. Now your left hand is a T. An inhale at center. And an exhale to open towards the right. Just as wide as it'll go. Use the whole band. I'm kind of stuck here on the wall. Come back to center. Both ends of the band now, one in each hand, and then slip your left foot in to join the right and let your right leg lengthen down the mat. And then same thing here. Notice if there's a difference between the two sides. Try to be light in your holding of the band so you're not in a big death grip here. Remember to breathe. Soften where you can. Both ends of the band in the right hand. Left hand is a T. Inhale first. Exhale to carry the leg to the right. Any amount. Observing any differences between the two sides, staying present through the sensations. Inhale to center. Switch your hands. And exhale, opening the leg out to the left. Inhale back to center. Release your foot from the band and lengthen your leg down the mat. You can put your band off to the side. Take any movement that you like here now. Once that feels complete, you might roll up and down the spine. So bring your knees in towards the chest. You might roll up and down. Or you might roll onto one side, eventually coming to sit. Okay, this is where we're going to grab one of our blocks here. So with our knees bent and our feet planted, we're going to put our block between the inner thighs. Now we'll start by leaning back a little bit while we do this. A couple of things while you're leaning back. Don't collapse into your shoulder. Stay up long through the whole body. Your chest is lifted, but we are holding the block with the legs. So there's a bit of a squeezing here. Imagine that the tops of your thighs could like spiral inward a little bit. That's an internal rotation of the leg, and it helps to activate all up into your core. Okay. Take a deep inhale. When you exhale, keeping the legs together, the upper legs, lift the right leg up. So the shin is parallel to the floor, press through the heel. Keep breathing. Release down. Left side. Leg is active, holding onto the block. Try to keep the shin parallel to the floor. Release. Right side. And down. Left side. And down. They looked at me funny when I said this today in class. Both feet. Yeah, okay, it's pretty hard with our hands back here, right? But sometimes if we hold onto the legs, that might be a little bit easier, maybe. One more inhale. And when you exhale, we'll lower the feet down. We'll move the block off to the side. You can take some movement here if you like. Okay. So now we'll think about coming into that without the block between the inner thighs. We wanted that feedback so that we could remember how to engage the legs. So your choice, hands are either beside the body or they're holding onto the legs. Remember that you could use two legs up, sure, or you could be slowly lifting one and then the other. Same thing, as long as you're breathing. Okay. If you're going to start with one leg at a time, perfect. If you're going to start at two legs, okay. Wherever you're starting, we'll go at the same time. Big inhale. Exhale, lift one or both legs. If you're doing one leg at a time, move at your own pace, lifting one and then the other. If you're holding both legs up, you're just holding. You're breathing. Your chest is open. Now, some people might find that this could be a little bit more sensational, and if that's you, you might release the hold of your legs, reaching forward, but not if you're going to collapse the chest, only if it can stay lifted. Some people might even reach the arms up. Some people might even unbend their legs. But none of these are the goal. Wherever you are, take one more cycle of breath, a big inhale, a big exhale. At the end of your exhale, bring your legs down, lengthen them down the mat, and you might shake them out a little bit. Keep your left leg lengthened, bend your right knee, and then plant your right foot on the outside of your left leg. A couple things here. We are actively trying to pull our leg across the body. So just let go with your hands and just feel the muscles all the way through the hips and in the legs, trying to pull the knee towards center or beyond. That's kind of the intention, but we're going to put our left hand just kind of below the knee to kind of help it stay there a little bit. So once you have that, you're not going to let go of your leg muscles, or you're going to let them be active. We'll take an inhale, lengthen up your spine. When you exhale, bring your right hand back behind you and twist towards the right. While you're twisting towards the right, your right knee is still intending towards the left. Let the legs stay active. Take a deep inhale where you are and exhale to unravel. We'll step our right leg back to the right side. We'll lengthen it down the mat. We'll bend the left knee. We'll plant the left foot to the outside of the right leg, and we'll just check to see how it feels to let the leg pull itself over. Stay tall here, so we don't want our shoulders by our ears. Okay. And now it's just the right hand is going to gently help it across the body. Take an inhale, get tall, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, your left hand comes back behind you to support your height, and you twist towards the left. So although your right hand is helping your left leg is still a big part of the process. One more deep inhale. And exhale, start to unravel. Left foot comes back to the left. Lengthen your leg down the mat. You might shake it out a bit. We're about to take a forward fold, so if it's helpful for you to sit up on something, to tilt your pelvis forward, you might grab a blanket or a cushion or a block, whatever you like. And we're just sitting on it enough so that we tilt forward slightly. Okay, if your knees are bent, let's start with anyone whose knees are bent. Keep them bent, very bent even. Planting the feet, hug your legs. Make sure that you're not super rounded in the spine. Take an inhale. And then exhale, just slowly start to walk your feet forward to wherever there's sensation, but also you're able to relax. And this is where you stay. If your legs are unbent, it's your turn. On an inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, press your heart forward. Let your hands land wherever they land. Don't think about it. Another inhale, so the heart moves towards the feet. And an exhale to surrender into the shape. So we're not pulling ourselves into it. We're allowing the elbows to bend towards the earth. Returning inward. Allowing the eyes to close, the gaze to soften. Wherever our eyes go, our attention will follow. Well, this posture helps us to withdraw the senses. On your next inhale, reach forward and all the way up. And exhale, hands slightly behind you. Inhale, lift the heart up. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Stay here, great place. If you want to try lifting up the hips, see what happens. Point your toes, lift the hips up. Yeah, if one of your toes touches the floor, yeah, maybe they can all touch you're so close. Yeah. If it's safe for you to look up, you might look up. Good job. One more inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Take any movement that feels good. Take a little victory, hurrah, if that feels good. And then we'll start to come towards our knees. Not even hands and knees, up on the knees. We might even make sure we know where our blocks are so that if we need them, they're not far. So let's bring our hands to our low back. Pretty active in the thighs, so imagine one of your blocks is between the inner thighs. And then on an inhale, just start to press the hips forward. We're not trying to do a camel here, but we're just kind of stretching the front of the hip flexors. You might look up if that's comfortable, or you might just look kind of more forward but slightly up. Back to neutral. Let's step our left foot forward. Shift your hips forward and down. I did it first try. And sweep your arms up, coming into low lunge. Remember to find a place where your knee is over your ankle. Imagine there's like a triangle of grounding in the sole of your left foot, so behind big and baby toes and the center of your heel. Keeping your hips square. That feeling of a block between the thighs, we're active like that here also. Imagine you could pull the leg bones in with your hip muscles. One more deep inhale, lift the heart up a little higher. When you exhale, we're going to start to bring both hands down to the mat. We'll start with both hands. I'm going to bring my left hand to a block because sometimes I find the floor is quite far. Actually my right hand, not my left hand. We'll inhale to reach the left arm up. We're gonna do a little bit of a flow here with our arm, and sometimes our front leg will want to move around a little bit. You might want to have it wider. Sometimes the knee will move out to the side, lifting the foot up slightly or rolling to the outer edge. Don't worry about it, normal and fine. Well, on an inhale, reach your left arm forward. And then when you exhale, reach it up and then towards the back. Your hips kind of shift a little bit as you do that. Inhale, reach up and forward. And exhale, up and back. moving with your own breath here. No rush. Notice how your hip likes to move so that you can do this movement, and allow that. Don't try to force it into stillness. The next time you come up and forward, let your hand come down to the inside of your left foot. Lift your right knee and turn to the long end of your mat, coming to wide-legged forward fold. You might bring your block with you if that's helpful. We'll pause for a moment in the center. We'll be rooting into the outer edge, both feet, outer edges, and the heel of our feet. Let's take a bit of a halfway lift here. Walk your hands towards your right foot, bending into your right knee. And some of us might come pretty low, and some of us might be a little bit higher up. But when you unbend the left leg, you might let your toes lift up, and that might give you a little more space here. Stretching out the left groin muscle. Start to come back towards center. Pause and center. Okay, back to a halfway lift. Turn your left toes towards the left. Walk your hands back towards the front of the mat. Let's position our feet so that they're staggered. So we're coming towards a crescent lunge. So we want to make sure we get some balance here. Root into your front foot, particularly into the heel. And then on an inhale, either reach forward or wide, getting the arms up. And pause for a moment. Make sure that you're fully rooted, that your legs are powerfully active. Your front knee is bent over your front ankle. Your heart is lifted. We'll take a couple of twists here. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, cactus the arms, twist to the left, so towards your front knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale the twist. Inhale up, pause here. Okay, drop your right heel and come towards warrior two. Arms sink over. Yeah, inhale, reach up, unbend, make any adjustments that you might need. And then exhale, sink into warrior two. Arms reach over the legs. Well, on an inhale, unbend, reach up. We're coming into that shape that we took on our mat. So unbend the front leg, lift the toes, bring your palms together, you sink into your back knee. Inhale, press up. Exhale into warrior two. Yeah, let's do that one more time because it was amazing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink. This is called Dandasana or skater pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Cartwheel your arms down towards the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out if you like. Be still if you prefer that. And then take a deep inhale, lift your heels up high, and exhale your knees to the mat and sink towards child's pose. Wide or narrow knees. Your head could be on the floor or your hands could be a pillow. Whatever you like. We'll take little crescent shapes here before we come into the other side. So reach the arms forward on the mat if they're not already. There's an inhale here at center. And on the exhale, walk your hands over to whichever side, it doesn't matter. Just stretching out the opposite side that you came to. On an inhale, come back to center. And on an exhale, walk your hands over to the other side. On an inhale, come back to center. And then come all the way up onto your knees. So this time, we'll step our right foot forward. We'll shift our hips forward and down. Make sure our legs are active. And then we'll sweep our arms up into our low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Finding those points of grounding in our foot, our front foot. Gently holding our imaginary block between the thighs. I guess against the thighs. Making sure our hips are square. Now take a deep inhale, lift the heart up a little higher. Exhale, both hands come down to either the mat or blocks. The left hand is going to stay down, and the right arm is going to reach up. Well, on an inhale, reach the right arm forward. And as you exhale, reach up and back, letting your hips shift as much as you need to so you have space. Inhale up and forward. And exhale up and back. And then follow your own breath here. And the next time your arm comes forward, let it come all the way down to the inside of your right foot. Lift your left knee and turn to the long end of your mat for a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe bringing your block with you, if that's helpful. And then pausing at stillness, rooting into the outer edge of your feet and into your heel. Both heels even if you have 2 feet. And we'll do a halfway lift. Start to walk our hands towards the left foot. You might even bring your block with you if that's helpful. Bending into the left knee. Unbending the right knee. And sometimes lifting the toes up can give us a little bit of space, but we're stretching the groin on the right side. There's 3 settings to the block, so if it's quite low, just bring it up to a higher setting so you're not reaching as far down. There you go. Let's start to come back towards center. We'll just pause for a moment. Once again, we come towards a halfway lift. We're walking our hands towards the right foot. We're adjusting our feet so that they're staggered as we come towards our crescent lunge. So rooting into your front heel, behind big and baby toes, but really when we're lifting up, especially into the heel. Once that feels pretty sturdy, then you can inhale to lift up. And we take a few moments to adjust, to really start to engage. So noticing our feet are rooting, noticing if our knee is way forward of our wrist and just trying to come back stacked over it. imagining that there's a little block being held against each thigh. Pulling the leg bones in with the hip muscles. We do some twists here. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms as you twist towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. Woo. Come back to center. Pause here. And then drop your left heel so we can come towards a warrior two. Arms reach over the legs. Inhale, unbend, reach up. Maybe you need to make some adjustments in the base. Go for it. And then exhale, sink in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to sink. Hold here. So we're going to make some adjustments at home. If you're on a rainbow mat, your knee is forward of your ankles, so you might step your foot forward a little bit. That was back, yeah. If you're on a gray mat, you don't have to lean forward quite so much. See if you can be more in the center of your legs. Yeah, there you go, exactly. Okay, we're starting to come into our Dandasana. So inhale, unbend, reach up. Your palms touch, lift your front toes, the right toes, and sink towards your left knee. Bend into the left knee, the back knee. Yeah, nailed it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend into your left knee, sink down. Inhale up. This is the last time. Exhale, bend into the right knee for warrior two. Good adjustment. Let's cartwheel our arms down towards the mat and then step back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Inhale deeply, lifting your heels up high, and exhale your knees down to the mat. Let your hips come down, scoop your legs around in front. And then we'll come into Shavasana shortly, but we have a few postures before we do that. Well, let's make sure there's lots of space behind us, and then take a deep inhale, reach forward and slightly up. And then exhale, slowly release to the mat or flop down, that's fine. Once you land, bring both knees in towards the chest. And then let your left foot plant. Cross your right ankle over the left knee for figure four. If there's already a version you know you want to take, go into that. If you're not sure, start here. We want to make sure that we're moving our right knee away from the right shoulder. So you might use your right hand against the thigh to help that happen. Keeping the right foot engaged can also help that happen. Or maybe you'd like to lift the left foot up, interlacing your hands around the left hamstring. So keep the figure four shape. If your left foot is floating, drop it down to the mat. And then cross your right leg all the way over the left. So kind of like if you were sitting in a chair and your leg was crossed. Arms might open into a T shape here with the palms up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let your legs fall towards the left, coming into a bit of a twist here. Your gaze might be left, right, anywhere in between. If it's possible to release some of the gripping or the holding, or even just to notice where it is, where it's not helpful. We'll start to bring our legs back to center. We'll uncross the right leg, and then we'll bring the left ankle across the right knee. And then come into the variety of figure four that works for you on this side. It might not be the same as the other side. That's okay and normal. If your right foot is floating above the mat, float it back down. Let the left leg slide further over the right. Arms into a T, and an exhale drops the legs towards the right. And your gaze is left, right, anywhere in between. Notice if there's unnecessary gripping. Release what you can. Start to come back to center. Uncross the legs. We'll take some washy knees here. The knees fall one way and then the other. Just finishing the same way we started. Enjoy this gentle movement as long as you like. Or if you would like to explore another shape or some other movement before final relaxation, please be welcome. There are no wrong answers. Eventually, you might start to make some adjustments so that you are as comfortable as possible. Draw your awareness towards the area of your body that is touching ground. Trust that you can release the full weight of your body here. Ground can support you. There's no need to hold in the feet or in the legs. It's okay to soften the hips. To relax the entire back. Allowing lightness in the chest and the abdomen. A subtle opening in the shoulders, the arms, and the hands. Spaciousness in the mouth, behind the eyes. This is a space where you can relax, where you can release. It's a space where you can rest. Without moving, begin to deepen your breath. Notice any sensations in the body, how you feel, and how it feels to breathe. And when it feels right, begin to bring movement back. As subtle or as grand as you like. There's no rush. Wherever you are, we'll let both hands cover the center of our chest. Bringing your chin down towards the energetic heart space, please take a moment to appreciate your body and the way it carries you through life with perfect imperfections. May all sentient beings be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free. I am so grateful for your presence here today, and the opportunity to connect with you and learn from you. Thank you so much.